Hey, thanks for tuning in to Girl, You Are So Worthy for our Rediscover Your Worth Bible study. Welcome to day one. I'm Kayla Barlow, and I have Ashlee Clayton with me. She's one of my very best friends. We go way, way back.
Way back.
And we're just going to talk about the truth about your worth today. I want you girls to know how worthy you are. We're going to do a 10-day quick Bible study, short and quick. Everyone has 10 to 15 minutes that they can spend with the Lord. So we're going to do that today. Have you ever felt like your worth is tied to your achievements or what others think about you? Maybe it's the pressure to be the perfect mom, a successful career woman, or just that friend that has it all together. Today, we're going to break free from that mindset and discover what God says about your worth. Because, girl, you are so worthy. Have you ever seen your sense of worth tied to your accomplishments? Maybe a lot of times it goes along with that successful career woman. I feel like this year, 2024, my word of the year was elevate, and I didn't really understand fully what that meant, but I do think that in that I had to very much set aside or keep in mind, maybe not set aside, but like my worth is not what in my work I accomplish. It is my worth is what Jesus says about me.
Yeah.
And so I think it's very much like you have to distinguish the two, and just because and it maybe even like you being a mom or something like that. But
I think a lot of mine is for work. I'm a task person, and so every morning I write down what I need to do for the day. And if I don't get those things done, I'm like, gosh, what did I do today? I'm so down on myself. And so I think, knowing that, if you don't do things right, if you don't get everything done that you need to do, or if you're not doing all the things, it's okay. God still loves you. There's another day to come. So
yeah. And I always think too, I feel like I have a big job, but in the world, it may feel like a big job, but what is it to God? For a God that created the universe, what is it to God in the big scheme of things? Yeah. So really, is it that big? Why am I tying so much of my worth into what I do and not believing fully what God says about who I am and what my worth truly is?
I think as a mom, my worth to my child, because as a single mom, it's hard to do all the things, right. Be here, there, and everywhere. And so if I'm not that person, I feel like, who am I? And I don't like to ask for help. That's a big thing for me, is I do not like to ask for help. Yeah. But I'm slowly learning that it's okay to ask for help, because I'm one person and I can't do it all. So
yeah. And I think even asking for help, sometimes it's just somebody being there to have that listening ear too, of you may not be, but girl, we all struggle. I'm happily married and we have 2 incomes, but it's just we still struggle, knowing that everyone else still has struggles. It may look different, very different than what your struggles is, but everyone can relate to something. And I think it's just having that sisterhood of yes, I'm going through this too, but let me have your back also. To keep speaking your worth into you, and just speaking life over you as well. Do you feel like your value changes based on what others think or how much you do? Like you said, you're very task oriented, and so it's easy to be oh my gosh, I was worthless today. I didn't get all of my tasks done. But oftentimes the Lord uses you in not the task that we set up, that we have aligned. Maybe it's in your work, it truly is just somebody that you are going in the patient's room or whatever. It very much may be just that, your worth. The Lord needed you for that specific conversation or just uplifting thing to comfort somebody. It is going to be okay.
Things change for me just because, I don't know, when we have activities within the church, I feel like I got to do this. I got to be there. I got to be there to help. And so when I can't, I'm did I let my church down? Did I let my girls down? Why couldn't I be there to help? But then it's sometimes I'm I've got to slow down and just take time to either reflect or rest even. And so I think going 100 miles an hour all the time is not healthy.
What emotions come up when you think about not meeting expectations? failure. They're not going to invite me to be a part of this team again.
Yep.
Like all of the things, like all of the emotions of just like a letdown.
Yeah.
You know?
Not good enough type of feeling. Yeah. And man, that's rough to feel that way.
Yeah. And in reality, in most things, it's like as a leader of, I feel like many things, there are a lot of expectations, but like, I mean, I remember the specific instance where you're like, I need to like take some time for myself this time. Like I was like appreciative of that because I know like, okay, as like the leader of this, like I know Ashlee needs some time for herself. I'm going to let her have her time. Yeah. And so I think like when you do need that break or when you do like, don't feel like you're a letdown, communicate that so others aren't like continuing to put this on you, even though like, you're like, I really need a break. I think that is such a, like to be a server and always to be a server it is so hard to continue to serve. And you have to take that time and like be able to take some time for yourself, take some time to like let the Lord feed into you and soak in and let somebody serve you. Yeah. And so I think it's very good for you to allow somebody to serve you, and it's okay not to always be the server. Yeah.
Let me tell you, it was hard though to tell you that because I love doing what I do. And so to be a part of any of the Worthy activities and everything like that, like I love it. I just love the sisterhood that we've grown with Worthy. And to be like, hey, I got to take a step back just because I'm kind of put a little too much on myself. Yeah. It was hard for me to do that. But you're right.
But like, I think that shows good leadership too. Like with you being able to say like, this is I need to take a break. But let's see what the scripture says about our worth. So in Deuteronomy 7:6, it says, for you are a people holy to the Lord your God. The Lord your God has chosen you to be a people for his treasured possession. Out of all the peoples who are on the face of this earth, he is choosing you to be your treasured possession. Gosh, that scripture is so good. And so that was actually kind of our theme for Worthy Set Apart 2024. And that treasured possession, like out of all things, the Lord chose each one of us to be his treasured possession. And it's just like, what does that mean? Like you think of like a treasure and it's just like, it's not something that can be earned or created, like only created by the Lord is truly a treasure. And it's not necessarily anything that we can work up. Like we are not in that. Your worth is truly a treasure. It is not earned. It is freely given.
I know. And that's crazy to me. Like out of everyone in this whole world, like he chose me to, you know, whatever calling he has on my life. Like I would serve on the worship team, and like he chose me to be a part of that team. And so to be on that team and it just to know that I was chosen to be where I am, like just, I don't know, it blows my mind sometimes of the things that he's revealing in my life. Yeah.
And I think too, like a treasure, like it is always being like refined. Like at this time you are on the worship team, but like there was a time where you weren't, and you are still his treasure. Yeah. Like he is redefining you and refining you into even more of it, like a treasure in my eyes, you know, like he is pushing you forward and like growing you in areas that like, you know, in high school sitting on the basketball team, like I knew you could sing, girl, but like you can sing. And I just think it's just so cool how the Lord like takes his treasure and even makes it better. Like better than what we could ever do, but he just aligns specific things to make us his treasured possession. And it talks about like being like chosen too. I think just that word in itself, like you think back, you always want to be chosen for something, whether it be, you know, on the dodgeball team in elementary school, like, don't let me be last. Like, don't let me be last. But like, we always want to be chosen. And the Lord's like, I chose you to be my treasured possession.
Well, I even reflect back to like some of the lowest moments in my life. And I'm like, he still had me chosen then. Like he had a plan for my life. Yeah. And so to know that even when I was in my darkest place, like I was still chosen at that moment.
Yeah, that is so good.
I wasn't going to cry.
No, you're fine. You're fine. This is good. So, girl, just know if you are in your darkest moments, the Lord is still choosing you every single day of your life. He wants only good for you, and he's calling you his treasured possession. So, girl, Your worth isn't earned by what you do. It's declared by the one who calls you his treasure. So it's not earned.
Yep.
It is given freely by the one that says, girl, you're my treasure.
Yep. And he's just waiting on us to be like, okay, take it. I have it right here. Just take it.
I want you guys to take time to reflect, write down, or just think about an area of your life where you feel pressure to prove your worth. Everyone has that. Mm-hmm. Everyone has that moment or those times where you have to prove your worth. Like I said, whether it be in, motherhood, your work, write down those things. Take time. Where are you feeling pressure to prove your worth? So take time today to also meditate. Repeat this truth throughout your day. I am God's treasured possession. Every moment of every day when you feel like I am losing my worth, I am doing nothing today, you can always remember I am God's treasured possession. That's what he says about you. Take 10 minutes today and pause and pray, thanking God for choosing you and declaring your worth over you. Girl, you are so worthy. Oh, and join us for day 2 tomorrow.